Welcome to Allie's Attic Show. I'm your host, Allie, and this is part of Allie's Attic Show called Allie's Awareness Avenue, where I bring people on that are dealing with life issues and diseases and disabilities and, the whole shebang, anything that's a life issue. This is kind of both the artist and a life issue because he is an amazing artist and he does have a disease that he's going to tell you about. He is from Dothan, Alabama. He is 23 years old. He's an independent artist. Please welcome Russell Craig. Hi, Russell.
Hi, Allie.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm going to love talking to you because you have an accent, and ever since I was little, I was determined I was going to marry a cowboy and move to a dude ranch in Montana. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. My dad worked at one, that's why. But anyway.
It's too cold.
It's too cold here. It's freezing in Canada. Well, at least in Manitoba. At least you're nice and warm in Alabama. Okay, so toasty. Now, like I said, I'm going to let you tell us your story, but I just wanted to talk about you as an artist, Russell, because when you reached out to me and I listened to your music, I fell in love with your voice, and the way you write your songs is like chocolate to women.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Well, now you know how to market your music. Just say it's chocolate.
It is vocal chocolate.
There you go.
Chocolate
there you go. And I mean, everybody's going to find out. They're going to listen to your music, and they're going to understand exactly where I'm coming from. Well, females are anyway. Which you want them to think it's chocolate because then they'll want to listen to it all the time. Now, you also have a disease that you were born with, and I want you to tell us about that, and then we'll get into your music and your university and everything else.
Okay, so I was born with a disease called retinitis pigmentosa. Now, when I was about 6 months old, my parents took me to see a specialist, and they actually misdiagnosed me with Leber's. Leber's in short. It's got a really long, complicated name.
Okay.
So I went 16 years thinking that I had Leber's, and that wasn't the case. I actually went to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, Maryland. I went to I went to another Johns Hopkins in Boston. I went all over the country going to doctors. I went to Emory in Atlanta. And finally, when I was 16, I went to Chicago. And a guy named Alan Chow that did the first implants for people with RP, I went to see him. And he confirmed that I had RP. So when I went home, I went back to my eye doctor. They switched me to another one, a retina specialist, and he gave the second opinion. He was like, definitely has RP. And coincidentally, around that time, 16, is when my vision really declined. Retinitis pigmentosa, for those of you who don't know, is a progressive eye disease, and anyone who has it, they're destined to go totally blind no matter how much vision they have. It starts out, you lose your night vision, and then you lose your peripheral vision. That's why some people that have RP that still drive, they have special mirrors attached to their car and such. Basically, it's in steps. Everything goes in steps. Your night vision, your peripheral, you lose your depth perception, and then your fields start to decrease. Right now, I'm 23, and I'm at the stage where my fields are decreasing. I already have probably little to no peripheral vision whatsoever, and it's getting to the point to where I'm starting to have what I consider to be like blind spots in my eyes. So like yesterday, I was coloring on the sidewalk with my niece and my nephew with our sidewalk chalk, and I can only use white because that's like the only thing I can see now. And as I'm coloring, it's like I can't even see the whole picture that I'm drawing anymore because there's a blind spot there, and it's really weird. And I actually had to put my opposite eye on it because I just couldn't see the whole picture. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now with the disease, Allie. But I would venture to say it's probably not going to be too many more years before I'm only light perception and no field of vision at all.
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine. So, okay.
Uh,
How do
it's
you,
just sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
it's just a I don't know. It's a constant adjustment. Is how I describe it to people. I actually just worked at a camp, a transition camp for visually impaired high schoolers who are going to college,
Uh-huh.
and a couple of them had RP, as we call it, as well, and they could see better than me. And I was explaining to them, you guys really need to take in what we're teaching you because in a few years you're going to be like me. You won't be able to read print anymore, and you're going to have to rely more on your cane and your ears and your listening skills and all, and that was a boatload of fun for me.
Well, okay. I, I, so, okay. I mean, when you're born blind, you're born blind. So you don't know what you're missing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you have a disease like you do, you're seeing everything up till, well, now, and it's getting worse for you. Does it scare you thinking that all of a sudden your world's going to be black?
Um, Sometimes. I mean, I just try not to let it get to me. I mean, when I was probably like 5 or 6, I was typing on a computer just like a normal kid. I didn't have any magnification or anything. I'm just typing away. But you know, I really just I don't worry about it anymore like I used to. I pretty much grew up wanting to be like everybody else, and so
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't use my cane in public a lot, um, which you can only run into so many like telephone poles and stuff
Oh
before
my
you
God,
start using
Russell.
it, But
Yeah.
I was just vain, I guess you could say. I actually had a mobility instructor who called me that. He said, "You are the most vain blind person I've ever met," because like many people who have a disability, like we struggle trying to fit in at some
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's what I would try to do. I would just try to fit in with everybody. And in a certain way, when you have a visual disability, you can't fit in with everybody else. So you just have to find your common ground with everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like something that helps me find common ground with people is music because everybody loves music.
And that is true. And that is very true. And I'm glad you found common ground. I also have a disability, not like yours. But I know, I guess they could call me vain. Everybody calls me stubborn. I try to do everything that I'm not supposed to do and then end up paying for it in the end. And I actually ran into a telephone pole just because I'm ditzy and I broke my nose. So stop running into telephone poles, number one. Um, so you've come to terms with it. I mean, you've had a lot of years. You've had 23 years to come to terms with it, and you're working at camps with people that are going through it or have gone through it, or are. Is it just RP camps that you go to, or is it blindness camps? Period.
Um, they took on several different eye diseases. There was people there that had glaucoma. There were some people that suffered from albinism. There were a couple of people there that did have the levers. Basically, they were just focusing on limited vision, legal blindness. There was one girl there who was already totally blind. I just took a lot out of it because when I was in high school and around these kids' ages, I was not like I am today. Like I hadn't come to terms with it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fought learning a different way. Like now I'm on this computer by myself. I have a screen reader. I did have to get someone to help me with this dadgum Skype because boy, my computer was just acting a donkey earlier. But I mean, for the most part, I try to do things independently now. Like I just have a different mindset. I want to be independent, just like everyone else is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really got to hammer that home with these kids. Like, hey, you guys may think you're independent now, but your world's going to change in a couple of years. And I honestly feel like they listen to me, and that made me feel really good.
Well, that's good, and at least you can help out because you're going through it yourself. And let's talk about music now because you're talking about common ground, and music was. I think it's a common ground, but I also think it's an outlet. My biggest saying is turn off the news, turn on the music. And if we pumped music into all these crazy political leaders, maybe our world would be a much, much happier place because I believe it can cause people to mellow out. It also, for me, when I'm sad or even when I'm happy, I mean every human being, you want to dance or you want to listen to that same sad song over and over and over again and cry and cry and cry for whatever reason. That's how we're built. So, do you find not only the common ground, but it's an outlet for you as well?
Absolutely. I try not to go, a day without picking my guitar up and playing. And even if I'm dealing with some anxiety, like everybody has to deal with, or I just get overwhelmed. Sometimes I get brain fog and I can't shake it. And so, the best way for me to, handle that is just to pick up the guitar and just play some stuff for a little while, and it always works.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you found that. And like I said, I think more people need to find that, not just for stuff that you're going through, but just for happiness, period. And I am like beyond happy that you found like music and a guitar because, like I said, your voice is like chocolate. And you write all your own songs, right, Russell?
I do.
Where do you get like we're going to talk about the songs in a second, but where do you get your inspiration from? Like just stuff that you're going through or have gone through, like heartbreak and all, all the stuff that we go through.
Um, It really depends. Sometimes songs can just hit you and you just sit down, or at least me. I can't speak for all writers, but I can sit down and I can write a song in 30 minutes. I've done it before. With one of the songs you're going to play, it actually took me like 30 minutes to write the whole song.
Wow.
And there are some songs I've literally stayed up all night writing a song before because I just wanted it to be perfect and I just couldn't find the words. I had about half of them, and then I had three-quarters of them, and I just kept writing and trying to perfect it, and I finally did. And I don't know why, but sometimes, like when you're in a writing groove like that, even though like you may think you have writer's block, like you just have infinite energy, and your brain is just going a million miles an hour. It's a great feeling. That's part of the reason why I like writing so much.
Wow, I wish I could write songs now. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this because I know that there's some people that are going to, and you don't have to answer. Um, do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Okay, good. Okay, I just wanted to ask. Now, how like she supports you obviously and understands your disease and is there to help if need be or whatever. I'm
Absolutely.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so that was my big question because I was just wondering, because I know there's a lot of people that go through stuff like this that are completely alone. Some of them have family, some of them don't, and I'm glad you have family and your girlfriend. Now let's talk about, okay, so we know that you love writing and you do it well and you play well and your voice, like I said, chocolate. I'm going to just keep saying chocolate. You're also in your junior year at school, right?
Yes, I am.
And you're going to be going to Auburn University, and you've maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout your career so far
That's right.
while doing music full time.
Yes, it's a struggle.
I guess, but you do it well. Obviously, you're doing fine. I just love that you're giving back by going to these camps. I'm going to tell you right now. I just think it's amazing that when people are suffering from stuff like this, that they give back. They don't wallow. And you know what I'm saying about wallowing, because I'm sure you've done it a few times, because I know I do, where you get in a little groove and you just stay there and you feel sorry for yourself. I'm glad that you're reaching out and helping kids that are going to be going through what you're going through. Now, I guess there's no time on when you're going to be completely blind. It's just going to gradually happen.
That's correct. I mean, honestly, the way the disease is set up, I'm not even supposed to be at the vision I am now. I have friends that have RP as well, and they still drive during the day. Now, they can't drive at night. They see worse than me at night, honestly. Like, I've seen these guys fall in mud puddles and stuff, and I'm just like, wow, I knew that was there. And, but they drive, which is terrifying. But
Yeah, it
they,
is.
they can do it. I can't. And that's the thing. Like, my mentor, who has like helped me on the path to the mindset I have, she didn't lose her sight until she was 40, and so she went her whole life. You know, she didn't even know she had RP until she was an adult,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's tough. And then as an adult, totally blind, she went back to school, got a master's degree, and I thought that was extremely admirable.
Yeah, no kidding. Very admirable. And I guess it would be harder later in life than it is gradually going through it, I guess.
Well, honestly, being around it so much, that's absolutely right. Like someone like me, even though I did have my adjustment time, like we all do, I still can say without a shadow of a doubt that the ones that I've been around who've lost their vision, whether it was to RP or any type of degenerative eye disease or sight loss, they just have the hardest time. Some of them are so stubborn. The older they are, they won't come to terms with it, and
Mm-hmm.
it can be frustrating. But as someone who goes through it, I try not to be, I try not to let my emotions get the best of me. I just try to, take a deep breath, and I just want to help everybody with it, because once you do come to terms with it, I mean, there's just no difference between me and you and anyone else.
Yeah, and there
You
isn't.
just have to learn how to do things a different way. That's all.
Exactly. I am so glad that you have the mindset that you have, and I'm so glad that you have your music, and you're so positive, and you're so like talking to you. It sounds like your future's bright, and you're just going to keep going, and nothing's stopping you.
That's why I wear shades, because my future's so bright.
Was that ZZ Top? Who sang that song? That is such a good analogy, though, right? You should do a cover of that song. I fell in love with your cover, by the way, is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Wow, can you sing that well? But I also love your originals. So let's talk about your original songs. What two songs? First off, before we talk about your songs, hang on. Wait, let me back up, because I'm going way ahead of myself here. Because you're going through what you're going through, and you have been for many years, and you are helping other people that are going through it, and you found music as an outlet, and that's what you're pursuing. And I mean, like I said, your future is bright, and you're making it that way. That's your mindset. If you had any advice to give anybody that's maybe going through what you're going through, or an independent artist that may be going through what you're going through, or just an independent artist, period, what kind of advice do you think you'd give them, Russell?
Two things, really. One thing, from just a pure personality standpoint, like not just completely excluding any kind of disability, don't wait around for somebody to do something for you. I'm not entirely sure what the saying is, but it's something to the effect of, the best way to get something done is to do it yourself.
Yes.
So, like I reached out to you, Allie. I didn't have a publicist or a manager or anybody like that reach out to you. I did it, and I live and die by the results. If you didn't want me on your show, I wouldn't have been on your show. If you did, I'm here and having a great time. You just kind of have to get over the insecurities, which is the hardest hurdle to get over. And if you can do that, and you can just go be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put that job application in, or I'm gonna send this interview request in. I'm gonna send these MP3s in. Just do it. Just go for it, because the worst thing that can happen is you don't, and you miss out on an opportunity. I mean, the only thing somebody can do is tell you no.
Yeah.
That's all they can do.
Exactly. And that's a great outlook. If you read my emails, at the end of my emails, my saying is, dreams don't work unless you do. And
exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I'm glad that you touched on it, because I mean, like you said, regardless, whether you have a disease, a disability, whatever the case may be, if you don't put yourself out there, nothing's going to happen for you, because you're not going to be sitting on your porch strumming your guitar and somebody's going to drive by and stop and go, oh my God, I want to sign you. You know what I mean? Exactly. You've got to be aware of the fact that you got to do what you want, regardless of anything else. I am so glad you reached out to me, not just because of your story, your music, like I said, chocolate. I'm going to keep saying that throughout the entire interview. People are going to get sick of me saying it. But
what kind of chocolate, Allie? Milk chocolate?
You know what?
White chocolate, dark chocolate, Dove chocolate?
No, I think, you know what? Milk chocolate, but with caramel in the middle that kind of melts slowly.
Oh, like turtles?
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, Kay. Yeah, anyway. Let's get off of this subject, because now I want chocolate. Good Lord. Your voice alone, Russell. Your girlfriend's a lucky lady. She gets to listen to you sing and talk.
She is.
See? Oh my God, I love your attitude. I love your attitude. Okay. I don't even know what I was talking about now, because now I've got chocolate in my head.
We're talking about chocolate. Somebody get Allie some chocolate.
Yeah, give me some chocolate, please, quickly. Okay, so what two songs are we going to hear from you?
you guys are going to hear By Your Side and Call Me the Rain.
Now, which one did you write in 30 minutes?
I wrote By Your Side in 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
I was hanging out at the trailer, as you do in Alabama. I actually don't live in a trailer anymore since I moved to Auburn, but I did back then when I wrote the song. I was hanging out in my bedroom, and I was just kind of laid across the bed with a guitar, and I just started playing this little chord progression, and it's kind of a standard chord progression, honestly. But I kept playing with it and making it my own, and I was like, hey, I kind of like that, and I just started humming. And then, I mean, it just happens sometimes. Like the words just jumped in my head, and they all just fell on paper. And I mean, I'd be shocked if it even took me the full 30 minutes to get the whole song down. And I played it. I think my mom was the first person to hear it. Like she hears all my songs first for the most part, and I played it for her, and she liked it, and I was like, well, heck yeah, I'm about to take this to the studio.
Right on. Does it have any meaning behind it? Is there a reason you wrote it?
I was just in a really good mood and a really good place when I wrote the song, and I mean, it's not really about anyone in particular, but I don't know. I needed a song to start my album off, and I wanted to be something upbeat and something kind of different than what like the normal message is in one of these type songs. And once you'll hear it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but,
you will.
I just kind of put my own spin on it, and I like the way it turned out.
Awesome. Okay, so now Call Me the Rain.
Yes.
I like the words in it. How some women call you a snake. Some what is that song about?
That song was just accurate.
Okay. Oh, they call you a snake? Is that what you're telling me?
That song, I think it took me a little bit more than 30 minutes to write that one, but that was another one that just came quick. Basically, the story behind it is, don't want to get too graphic here. I was taking a shower, and I was thinking of a song, and I decided, for whatever reason that night, I wasn't going to write the song down. I don't know why. I was just like, yeah, that ain't good enough. And I went to bed. And then when I woke up, I had a different melody in my head, but I still had those words. And I just started playing the song all the way through, and then I put the words down, and I was like, hey, this fits. It fits this time. And the song was born. Okay. And it's actually the title track to my first album.
It is.
And I don't know, I just fell in love with it. And honestly, like, most people that hear it, they're like, man, that song is you. That's an awesome song.
It is an awesome song. It is absolutely, and it's kind of like a little bit of country blues, kind of. Like, are you a country artist, or you're just whatever you do is what you do?
I'm straight independent.
Okay.
When I play, when I do band shows and acoustic shows, I like to make everybody happy. I mean, I've played at nursing homes, I've played at churches, I've played everywhere in between, any kind of bar venue, weddings. I do it all, and so I don't want to just sit there and say, no, I can only play today's greatest hits. I don't want that, and I don't have any, I don't discourage anybody. If that's what you do, then that's awesome. It's just I just love music, and so I mean, I can sit there and I'll play a Toby Keith song and turn right around and play Prince, and like my dad, he picks at me all the time because every time he comes to hear me, I play Purple Rain. He doesn't like it.
Oh my God!
But everybody else does.
Is that on your YouTube channel?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you really?
Last time I played in Montgomery. Okay, I played with my band, and the last song of the night was Purple Rain because you can jam out to it, and I had a girl come up on stage and just start dancing with me while I was singing, and it was just beautiful. I really wish somebody would have got that on camera because I feel like that would have done it. Like, that would have put Russell Craig on the map. With these songs, that would have done it.
Wow. Okay, so just so you know, okay, we're going to go back to chocolate. I absolutely, I bawled when Prince passed. I have loved him forever. I went to his movie, Purple Rain, Anybody plays that song, everybody has to stop talking and it gets cranked because that is my song. So
Yeah,
if you hear like if you put it on your YouTube channel, please, for me, I want to hear it now. Now
oh, I
you've left.
will, but I have to stage the events that happened because it was just music, man. You know how sometimes things just happen and it's out of your control.
Yeah,
But that's just what happened.
and
It was just a really good night.
it's out of your control, but then it works so perfectly well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I wish somebody would have got it on camera too because it would have been beautiful. You singing Purple
Story of my
Rain.
life.
Yeah, there you go. That's not good. No, things are working out for you, so don't even think that. But seriously, put Purple Rain up. I'm just gonna keep asking you now. You shouldn't have told me you sang that song. Okay.
I will tag you immediately.
Oh my God, thank God. Okay, anyway, so we can purchase your music pretty much everywhere where people purchase your music online nowadays.
Absolutely.
You have a YouTube channel. I urge everybody to go to Russell's YouTube channel and listen to him because he does. He covers all kinds of different genres and he does it well, as well as Facebook. And it's Russell Craig. And is it Russell Craig Music or just Russell Craig?
So the Facebook and Instagram and all that is Russell Craig Sounds. If you do go to YouTube, all my social media links and or at least most of the links where you can get my music, they're all on that channel in the About section. So all you have to do is just search Russell Craig and maybe type in Call Me the Rain on there and you'll see my music video. And once you're on that page, you'll see all my links and you'll be able to find me everywhere.
Awesome. Okay, so everybody trust me. You want to go find this man. Russell, I wish you the best of luck with everything. With your disease, I don't think I have to wish you luck. You're doing well. You have the perfect mindset for it. I wish you the best with your music. If you don't get signed, I don't understand what's wrong with the world. I don't know if you want to get signed or you want to stay independent, but I'm just saying somebody needs to discover you because, oh my God, you're good. Also, anything new happens, keep in contact with me. I'll bring you back on the show. You start winning all those big awards, please start, calling out Allie's Attic Show and telling everybody to, come on my show. But seriously, any new songs you want promoted, anything, I'm here for you. I do that for everybody that comes on my show, and I've had many people come back on. I can see you going very, very far, and I love that you're so optimistic, and don't ever lose that.
Well, thank you for having me, Allie. I honestly, I wanted to hear back from you, but when I saw that you were like, your description's like worldwide, and I was like, wow, what a crazy opportunity that she actually like accepts messages and stuff. But you do, and I think it's awesome what you do, that you give back to artists like me who are, at this point, we might as well be no names, but we're trying, and we're trying to perfect our craft. And I just think that what you do is awesome, and it's going to make a difference to a lot of people.
Oh my God, thank you. Now you're going to make me cry. Okay, thank you so much. That's what I'm here for. And
chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Chocolate. Okay, anyways, Russell. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And yeah, I don't believe in bots or other people answering, your messages and you not talking to the person, because I think the world is too impersonal nowadays as it is. So I will always be there as long as I can for artists and do whatever I can. So I'm so glad you reached out to me, and I'm so glad you came on, because I would not have discovered you unless you did. And I'm glad that artists do that. So yeah, I hope to hear from you soon. I hope to hear that you, are so successful. It's not even funny. And thank you so much again for coming on.
Well, likewise to you, Allie.
And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep joining me, because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Everybody have a great day. Cheers.